the series, we're going to be following my journey as I learn to convert my 2006 Toyota Hiace Commuter into a fully off-grid camper van. So I've made a good bit of progress on this today. This is going to be the bulkhead essentially, and it's important to have this quite sturdy as you can use it as a way of building your cabinets and stuff up later on. Plus it gives you that security of knowing there's sort of something in between you and the back needs be. So I'm basically going to put another set of beams up here. This is going to be a small window. And I've made sure that this is fixed to the body at various points. So I've got points there and there where it's attached, and not only have I screwed it into the metal, but I've also added in the little L brackets just to give it that extra strength. I'm doing that the same with all of these key joints, just to avoid there being any movement and it to really be one piece. The last van I had a couple of issues where this wasn't very sturdy and all the things attached to it therefore were not very secure. So it's really easy to do. This is just, I guess, 2x4 from Bunnings structural ply. I used the mitre saw to cut it down, but if you don't have that you can use a normal saw or a jigsaw or whatever. Mitre saw makes a massive difference though. And then yeah, I'm just making sure it's in the right place. And then if there's a little gap at all, I'm just using the Sikaflex just to make sure that gap's filled. And I'm just using the hammer to make sure everything is square. And I've got a jigsaw. And yeah, it's really important when you're doing these to make sure that it's square. So use your jigsaw. And the way I've done it is I'm assuming the floor is flat. You can't use a spirit level or anything like that because obviously the van's on a slant. So I've measured up from the floor using this, made sure I've got, and then from that measured the top piece, and I've measured up from the floor to make sure this is the same height all the way along. And then it allows you to keep everything square, and as a result it's really nice and strong. So yeah, easy to do. This has taken me about, I don't know, an hour so far. So I'm just going to get these last two pieces in and these last two bottom bits, and then it's basically done. I'm going to coat the whole thing in some really nice plywood, paint it over. This will be a window which I'll probably sort of frame out with some pine or something like that. And yeah, it's all sort of starting to come together. yesterday I started putting on the bulkhead. So I've just used basic tongue groove. I think this is sort of 9 or potentially 11 mil. And just basically obviously matched it to the curve of this wall. But more importantly, and then I guess this is what people see, is just make sure that this was mapped nicely. So what I tried to do is use the door seal as a kind of way of kind of hiding any errors. But these then are all countersunk in. So just gonna screw them all in. Today, finishing this little sort of window hole here. And then I will basically putty them over and we can actually start painting this whole joint. My idea with this is obviously keep bringing the tongue groove all the way up, and then I'm going to line this with a pine or something like that, just to give that sort of windowsill effect. Super busy day today, guys. Managed to get this whole wall up and puttied. It's actually looking really good. I'm super happy with it. I managed to scribe the walls really nicely, and I guess I'll show you how to do it on another bit. But essentially, it just allows you to map the curve well and make it look flush. It's starting to look really nice and start to come together, which I'm really happy with. As always, things take longer than you think they will, but certainly I've managed to run a cable to the van, so I've got my tools in the van, and it makes such a difference. So yeah, hopefully have primer finished by the end of today, 2 coats on everything, and then I'm debating whether to sand it between the priming and the second coat, because I've read that that actually can produce a far nicer finish. Or whether just to go straight with the final coat. I'll obviously let you know what I do. But once all the paint is done, then we can actually start doing some of the fun stuff. I'll get the windowsills done and start building out all the furniture, that kind of thing.